All right. I want to welcome our audience today to another broadcast of Luminary Leaders Live. Today, I'm excited because it's Women's History Month, and I have an amazing woman that is our guest today, and her name is Angel GUERRA-CHAGOLLA. And you're going to meet her in just a moment. She has an amazing company. It's Beauty and Beast in Business. We'll find out how she came up with that topic or that business name. And she's also a NABO member, and she has an extraordinary educational background. So we'll hear about that from Angel. And right now, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Shelley Harrison. I'm the CEO and founder of Luminary Leaders. We are a speaker management and consulting company. We represent professional speakers across the country. I also have podcast shows that I run with connected women of influence. And I have my own show, which is Speaker Central, which you've probably caught some of our episodes. And I also, for the Veterans Chamber of Commerce, I am a co-director for a chapter for Inland Empire in Orange County. And I often do the hosting for the radio show for the chamber. So that's who I am. And now you're going to meet my guest, Angel. Angel, welcome to Luminary Leaders Live.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Yes, and I'm excited to have you here too, especially on such a special time of the month, right?
Yes. So we had Women's Day, International Women's Day, and we're in Women's History Month, which is very exciting to me. I just love to share all the information. I've been putting out some posts because, we recognize our foremothers that came before us. We talk about the wonderful women that are here right now doing some great things, and then the next generation.
Yeah. And the next generation, I mean, how awesome is it that there are so many young women right now, especially during this month, that are being highlighted for the work they're doing. And some of them as young as 13, 14, 15 years old. And when they get, at that age, when they get that kind of support and, just other women that are in business that are kind of mentoring and embracing these young women, I mean, it's going to be wonderful for, years to come and hopefully have them, be leaders at some point in their careers.
I think it's so great because I remember being in school, I'm going to say way back when, and didn't have those opportunities. We didn't have business women who came into our schools to, really talk about mentoring into certain programs, whether it was business, especially business, but, IT or any of that stuff. So the fact that these young women are having this opportunity, and the fact that, we find so much information online, right? People can Google and they can self-teach and they can learn some great things. And that's giving our young ladies a step up from the generations before them.
Oh, yes, I totally agree with that. And, the work that you do, Angel, share a little bit with our audience as far as the work you do with Beauty and Beast in Business, and how did you come up with that business name?
So a few years ago, I actually started a company called the Pro Firm, which was Professional Females in Risk Management. And it was kind of a events-based mentoring group that really provided information and education to women in risk management. And we talked about career navigation and lots of great things. Well, I began this kind of trademark logo, Beauty and Beast in Business, really based on the fact that for years and years, women were really kind of shuffled into two different categories: the face, or somebody who, was considered a beast. They didn't really want to be, people didn't want to work with them.
Yeah.
And it was recognizing that we all, women, men, doesn't matter. We all have both of those, right? We have that inner strength. We have that inner perseverance, which can sometimes be considered the beast-like because, we have to be able to stand up and speak for ourselves. We also have the inner kindness and the inner love, which is the beauty. So balancing that out really became the Beauty and Beast in Business, which is recognizing that when we understand we have both, when we figure out how to balance both, and sometimes that means 70-30, sometimes that means 50-50, depending on the situation. But it really helps us, I think, navigate our careers and our businesses and really grow into places that we might not grow if we don't embrace both of those pieces of us.
Yeah, yeah. And the work that you do, I love how you've expanded on with your company where you have your magazine, that, we'll talk a little bit about that too. And also the fact that you're working with the Inland Empire Women's Business Center as one of their business consultants.
I am so excited to do that. I love to mentor. I think it's really important to be able to share information. Um, that's kind of what I did with my own business. And when COVID hit, kind of things changed. In-person events were no longer there, which is why I closed the pro firm and really created Beauty and Beast in Business LLC and decided, how are we going to take all of those great events and that great information and bring it to women in business? So with Beauty and Beast in Business LLC, we have the digital publication, which is quarterly, and we have business women from across the US. I even on the first one had a woman in Sweden who are writing in, yeah, it's so amazing, writing in articles to discuss financial empowerment, to discuss health, to discuss, so many topics that we don't really openly talk about. And on 4/22, I also have a virtual event, which I'm really excited.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
Yeah, it's the first one since last year. And I have a co-host in Chicago and a second co-host in New York. And it's going to be 11 a.m. Pacific time to 1. And the balance of it is really exciting because I thought, how do we bring together kind of a TED Talk? So for the first hour, it's called Business Beauties Speak. And I'll have,
I like that.
yeah, so great. I have 7 women who are coming in for 7 minutes apiece on 7 different topics. And we're going to talk about vulnerability. We're going to talk about, recreating failure into success. I mean, just lots of great topics. And then the last hour is going to be business ethics. And we're going to talk about diversity and inclusion. And we're going to have a fireside chat. So I'm just really excited about it.
I love it. I love it. And where can we go to register?
So if you go to my website, which I believe is scrolling across the bottom of the screen, if you go there and go to events, you can register there. We are raising money. The tickets are $3 to $15, but all of that
very reasonable.
Yeah, 100% of it is going to Pacific Lifeline Women and Children Shelter here in the Inland Empire.
Oh, that's awesome. So it has a philanthropic piece too.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it sounds like a wonderful event. And the fact that you're going to have so many women from across the US, that are going to be participating. We'll have to put that in my Global Women's Networking group too. I have a Facebook group and I'd love for you to share it in that group. Because those women they love doing, supporting and helping and connecting with women across the US and abroad.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. And every attendee who actually shows up will get not only a handwritten thank you card, but a silver bracelet charm as a memento to remember not only the event, but that Beauty and Beast in Business has a community that's there for you. And we really want our attendees to recognize that it's a sisterhood.
Yeah, sisterhood. Yeah, I've heard of other, like I've heard of tribe, our communities, but I love sisterhood because that really kind of explains that, we're in this together. And, men are, I mean, obviously we love our men, but sometimes it's nice for, women to come together and do these types of events where we can all help each other and support each other and collaborate. And so many things can happen when women get together. Don't you agree?
I do. And I think it's really an important topic because for so many years we were kind of taught there was one seat at the table. And, when that was taught to us over years, it kind of created this dynamic where, as women, we were all trying to get that one seat at the table. And now, the conversation is really different. No, there are plenty of seats at the table. And we want to be able to take one of those seats and we want to be able to bring our sisters along with us. And so it's really creating that collaboration collaboration and that team building as opposed to more of the competition.
Yes. And I'm glad that you pointed that out because there's so much out there for all of us. And I go back to when I first started in the banking industry. I started when I was like 19 and I became a branch manager at the age of 26, which back then, wasn't a thing. Girls were not, or women really weren't managers. And I was so fortunate because I had a mentor that helped me to step into that position. And when I was hired to do that role, I thought, you know what? I'm grateful to be there, but I also took it as though, you know what? I could do the same kind of work that any other person can do, man or woman, and I'm just as capable. And I embraced that. And I looked for, men and women in the bank who were mentors for me. And I'm grateful for, the way that I kind of grew up, so to speak, in the corporate world, because I always want everyone to feel included, and that's just kind of my philosophy.
And I think that that's important what you said about recognizing that there are some mentors out there and sponsors out there who are not just women, but men. And in
Mhm.
my publication, I do have a section called Allyship at its Finest. And
Oh,
every quarter, we spotlight a businessman who is a mentor or a sponsor or who really works with not just women, but people of color and really helps kind of,
yeah.
you know, elevate those discussions. And in addition, we also have male authors who come in and write about their experiences as an ally and why they think it's important. And
Yeah.
it's not negating or it's not removing other people, but it's really about bringing everybody together. So we talk about a mission, and business women are my heart, and that's
Mhm.
where the discussion goes, but we welcome, positivity from everyone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. I just want to kind of remind our audience today we are talking with Angel, and she is the CEO and founder of Beauty and Beast in Business. And I also want to do a little commercial break for Connected Women of Influence. We are having, or they are having, an event on March 31st to finish off the Women's History Month, and it is bringing together, they want to have at least 1,000 women there, and what we're doing is we're partnering with other women's organizations, and they have quite a few that they've already partnered with, including Angel, you'll love this, the Inland Empire Women's Business Center.
Yes.
And it's just an hour and a half. You could register on their website at Connected Women of Influence, and it's free to attend, and it's going to be an hour and a half of just so much, just empowerment and all kinds of wonderful things that Michelle Berquist, the founder, has planned. So back to you, Angel. As far as what's next for you?
Really, this growth of the publication, on 1/1 was the first publication, and it's really about growing that and amplifying the voices of women across the US and hopefully across the
Mm.
world. Really creating these discussions that a lot of people are not having. Recently, I had a discussion with a woman in Belgium who
Oh, wow.
really wanted to do the same thing, right? Bring in diversity and inclusion. And also a woman in Sweden who said, we're working in these companies and we want to create this discussion that maybe hasn't been the strongest. And so I'm hoping that with this publication and with some interviews that I'm doing, some speaking and some events, we really start to
Mm.
elevate that discussion into points where we make a difference. And it's not about just checking a box, but it's
Mhm.
really about putting in the work and actionable items so that we continue to grow and we make things
Yeah.
better. And really for me, with the business coaching that I'm doing with the Women Business Center, um,
Mhm.
and everything else I do, it's really about empowering women. It's about advocating for our issues. It's about
Yeah.
educating women, and it's about connecting them. Because without a great network It's not that we cannot get ahead, it's just that it's much, much harder. And so when we see, especially right now, things can be kind of difficult. So when we see that, things are hard and we might be hitting a rough patch, whether it's in our careers, our lives, or our businesses, I mean, what better way than to reach out to other women who are dealing with the same thing and being able to uplift?
Yeah. Yes, uplift. And yeah, and I think, kind of going back to your point of, it's not a competition. We're doing the work, we're wanting to be recognized for the work we're doing, and we want to help other women and men in the process. And I think having, you as a leader and someone who is really kind of paving the way for other women to join in. You have the events that you're doing, you have your publication. I mean, I really applaud you, Angel, for what you're doing, because it's not easy to have that kind of a network. It takes, energy and processes and effort, to do that kind of work. And I really applaud you. How can myself and our audience help you?
So I would say that I'm always looking for great authors who have a good story or information to share. You can visit me at my website, or you can email me at angel@beautyandbeastinbusiness.com. In addition to those articles, we're looking for advertisements. So if you're a company who during this time hasn't been able to maybe reach a new clientele or get out to network, I would say, please come and see what we have to offer, and let us advertise your business to businesswomen who can use your skills, your items, your products. And our first publication hit 400 readers. So that's
Good, very good. Wow.
yeah, pretty great for the
Yeah.
first one. I'm really excited.
That is. And it, and again, it's not easy to do that. I think, it's a lot of perseverance and things and it does help to have other women and people that are helping in the process. Angel, this has been fun, and I know we could even talk longer. And the information that you shared today, though, is really, I mean, it's near and dear to my heart just because of my corporate background. And, getting out there and supporting, just women in business. I mean, it's important, that we just keep that momentum going and embracing the change and, things that are going on with the epidemic right now. I think a lot of people, I mean, we're coming closer, hopefully, to the end of it, or somewhat to the end, that things, will be a little different for us when we get back out there. But I think now, platforms like this, where I'm so glad that we were able to showcase you and have our audience meet you. Thank you so much for joining. And to our followers and subscribers and those that are viewing, if you're watching the replay, Angel gave some great information. She has an event on April 22nd. We'll make sure that we put that in the show notes. And again, Angel, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you. And have a wonderful afternoon, everyone. Bye.